Hey, what's going on, people? Let me know who you are. Where you at? Thanks for joining in. Messing around with my man Chris Rock here. Yeah, I'm pulling double duty today. One phone stand. Hey, that's what's up. Oh, okay. We got a user from Birmingham, Alabama. What's going on? I've been to the ham before. But yeah, we're doing a little sketching right here with Chris Rock. I was messing around with him. And let me get rid of all this right here and show you what I'm talking about. This right here was my original sketch that I work with. And as you can see, I shaped out his head shape. And once I shaped out his head shape, I was able to come in and add in all my detail, which was this right here. And then from this point, I added in some cleanup right here. So I just cleaned everything up. You know what I'm saying? And then from that point, I added a body, threw the head on down there, and then boom, there you go. Kind of want to give him a little stage presence. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Get rid of that. We're gonna make this bigger right here. So I can pretty much roll with this if I want to. And I can always come in and add some detail or get rid of some things I don't need before I start laying down some paint on this sucker right here. Pretty much captured him really well, I think, for my style of caricature. Everybody has a different style of caricature. So don't get caught up with trying to, um, as long as it looks like the subject that you're drawing, to me, that's a success. So you always want to be able to go in and, because if you ask 10 people what they think about your caricature, all 10 will give you something different. And to me, if you got to trust your own judgment here, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, trusting your own judgment. And that's why I like to play around with different shapes. And I tell my students and the people who I train, just play around with shapes. And what I mean by play around with shapes, if you look at the initial, is it this, yeah, this one right here. Yeah. If you look at the initial head shape, that's a caricature by itself. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's too perfect, which makes it a caricature. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to play around with shapes, and I like to put each shape on a different layer. So you may ask me, well, what's a shape? And I'll show you. Well, first of all, his head shape right here, that's the shape. See that? See how it's not perfect? That's a shape. You know, his ears, that's another shape. I'll put that on another layer. just like that. So all those are shapes. His hair, that's another shape. And now that I got all those shapes together like that, I can now come and if I wanted to manipulate his ears, I can. I can make them, oops, sorry, wrong layer. I can make them bigger, smaller, wider, thinner, put them at an angle. I don't know if you notice with Michael Jordan, his ears are always at an angle and they flare out. So if you look at all caricature artists in some way, shape, or form, they're going to have his ears flaring out. That's just one characteristic of Michael Jordan. That's like caricature 101. If you're going to do Michael Jordan, you make sure you draw those ears flaring out. But that's what I say about working with shapes. So I'm going to delete these right here because I don't need them. Oh, we got y'all in the building. What's going on, Virginia? My man, yeah, Brian, man. I had to go early, man. I gotta finish that Wu-Tang, bro. What's going on, Shanta? Facebook user, hey, Facebook, uh, Brian, if you can instruct them on how to click on the duck for the StreamYard so I can see the comments. Tennessee in the house. Montgomery, Alabama. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, sir? Tamra, looking. Hey, Tamra, how are you? So I'm gonna bring back Chris Rock. We got quite a few of you guys in here. I didn't think it'll be that many in here, but we're gonna bring back my man Chris Rock. And so, one thing about Chris Rock is, if you're going to draw a caricature of him, is probably you probably want to do one of his crazy expressions. Like I could have went more into this expression because if you look at the original artwork, well, the original photo, his eyebrows are really up. I could have made them higher, and look at the angle of his mouth. And I really wanted to capture that angle of his mouth. And that's what it's all about, guys. I kind of like this pose right here because it's like he's performing, and I kind of tilted his head a little bit to kind of make it to appear as if he's engaging with the audience. So when you put this on a t-shirt, once it's colored, it, he comes to life. If that makes sense to you guys, you know what I'm saying. Good deal, buddy. I'm doing good too, man. Yeah, she said she's telling her work but listening. I appreciate it, Shanta. Thank you. So at this point, guys, I'm technically done. I can go on to the paint phase. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paint his head, and I'm not going to use the photo reference. I'm going to use my own internal light source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer, make sure it's in normal mode, and I try to name all of my layers. So we're just going to name this layer color. Well, this is a new folder, and I'm going to put my layers inside that folder. So everything I color is going to be inside that folder. I try to change my background to make the image stand out. I normally go with a green, uh, something to make it stand out. But so for you guys to see that, I may do a blue. And what I will do is I will sample Chris Rock's lightest skin tone. He's like a sometimes. Well, this light right here is really light. He's not that bright, so I'm gonna probably tone that down some. Maybe go right here and make that as light as color. And we're gonna paint I'm going to show you how I paint his head. And I'm going to try to do this in record time here. Because I know a lot of you guys are busy. So we're going to try to do this within 15, 20 minutes, I hope. So, Bryant, man, start the clock, bro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick outline with my lasso tool. And I'm going to just outline what I need to paint. Got that in there. I'm good to go. And now I come back with my eraser tool and I just erase what I don't need. And sometimes you may have to fill in some spots like that. And this will be for a PNG. So if you guys over in Facebook, if you haven't joined my YouTube channel, please join my channel. My main man Brian, if you could, if anybody's on, if anybody who follows my YouTube channel, if you can put my link in the comments, that'd be greatly appreciated. But if you haven't joined my YouTube channel, please join my YouTube channel. If you're over on YouTube, if you haven't joined my Facebook, I'm Stan Jackson at Facebook. Look for the Art of Stan Jackson, which is my fan page, and also Cartoon University, which is what I share with my partner. So now that I got his face color in, now we're going to start adding some highlights and some shadows. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to make my own internal light source because if you look at the photo reference, it would appear as if the light is directly in front of his face. So, you know what? I'm going to try to mimic that to the best of my ability, okay? And so, what we're going to do is all my edges should have some type of shadow around it. That all this is going to be dark. Pretty much all this color of his looks like he's shaved. All is going to be dark. Right here. Then it's going to start getting a little bit lighter. Right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. And right here. And if you guys notice, the last thing that's on my mind is trying to be perfect. That's the last thing. Not trying to be perfect here. I'm blocking everything in and I'm going as I go. Yo, I just dropped another YouTube video. If you guys seen it already, kudos to you. Please go over and leave a comment. The latest YouTube video. I did my man Rafiki from The Lion King, which is one of my favorite characters. Right here, right here, and right here. So automatically that alone would appear as if the light is shining directly in his face. Right here. And yeah, we're good to go. Right here. So if you guys are interested in doing cartoons, if you want to learn Procreate, go to my man Bryant's class. He teaches Procreate over at Cartoon University. And if Brian is on, Brian, if you're on, man, put the link to Cartoon University for us. And we're gonna go from there. That is right. You know, with the shape of Chris Rock's head, his features and facial expressions he make, there's a lot that is so true. That's why I tell people who are starting off, pick people who are easy to do to build your confidence, like your Dennis Rodmans. Jim Carrey. He does a lot of great facial expressions. So pick someone who makes a lot of facial expressions. Go to some of your old comedy movies and pick subjects from there and just get the facial expression. But I also must say this: you must have some kind of uh, training or knowledge of the head and how the planes work on the head. So you're absolutely right. So we're going back to Chris Rock, guys. Okay. And now I'm just going to take, now a lot of people do it differently. I try to make my process, because I'm training, as simple as possible. So I'm going to blend in those hard lines, because light bounces off the skin differently. Now, if I was doing clothing, I would leave those hard lines there. But since it's on the skin, we're going to blend them in. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. So I'm going to take my eraser tool and I'm just going to do that right there. Real simple blending, nothing too extravagant. Because, like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect. Once you understand the concept of not trying to be perfect, you'll see your art go to the next level. And I learned that the hard way, not trying to be perfect. And that really slowed me up from my growth because I was trying to be perfect. And so right here, I'm just blending in everything. Simple eraser tool. And to me, actually, I can stop right here if I wanted to, but I'm not, because a lot of people don't know I'm a perfectionist. Even though I say don't be perfect, I try to be perfect. It's easier said than done. I understand that. I try to do what I can do. But I'm going to take my airbrush tool now and I'm going to slowly blend in everything. Uh, Slowly blend in everything, just like that right there. Come back right here. You guys see that? Slowly blending in everything. Come back with that. See how this looks right here. There you go. There you go. Keep it moving just like that, guys. Oops. There you go. All right. Cool beans. So I'm cool with that right there. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to pick like a natural brown color so that because I want to add some more brown in there. So I'm going to pick a natural, I'm going to pick a good brown and I'm going to make a new layer, multiply it out. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to do an orange. Let's do orange. We can do orange. So I'm going to pick an orange and I'm going to slowly blend that orange in to give it more of a natural feel to it. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it. But I'm slowly doing an orange to add a little depth and skin tone. Right here. Just like that right there. Boom. Just like that. And now my last one, I'm going to do another layer. My layers build up, I'm not going to lie. Looks like he has that growth of a beard that's trying to come in. So I'm going to just pick a gray. Let me pick this gray right. A lighter gray tone. And I'm going to just follow the contour of the shape I created. That right there. And boy, that's coming in really good. That's it. That's Chris Rock all day. Okay, cool with that. Now I can even if you I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to go to my brush options right here and you see these little dots. You guys probably can't see it. But I'm going to pick a darker gray and I'm going to pick my dots. I may have to put them on a different layer. Uh, make these a little bit smaller. And I got the little dots in there to kind of represent the hair growth. Hope you guys can see that right there. Okay. So be cool with that right there. What's your problem, buddy? It looks great already. Thank you very much. That's right. The guy who played Chris Rock on Everybody Hates Chris, he's a great example too. Eddie Murphy did a lot of expressions. Martin Lawrence. Um, so like I said, what's going on, Familiar Prince? My man Mike Rushing in the building. What's up, bro? But yeah, man, it's very important. Scottie Pippen, especially basketball players, they make a lot of expressions. So, I always tell people to, like I said, find examples of caricatures making expressions. Singers, they make a lot of expressions, especially when they're performing. You know what I'm saying? So it's real important if you want to practice, if you want to grow your skill. Stop drawing the caricatures as a simple smile. You want to kind of find the smallest thing that you can exaggerate And it also helps with your decision making because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Decision, you're making decisions. Trying to be perfect. You know what, buddy? I think everybody tries to be perfect. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's my downfall too, trying to be perfect. But it's two things that my mentor taught me, and number one was stop trying to be perfect, and the other thing was never fall in love with your artwork. Once you're done with the piece, move on to the next one. You know, and that took me about 3 years to understand that concept. But I'm doing his lips now, so I always start off with a pink for his lips, and we all know that that upper lip is a little bit darker, so I'm going to just sample from his own skin tone here. That's too dark. Yeah. And so those are the lips. Come back and make a new layer. I will probably just use a gray to shade in the lips right here, and then come back and shake that in, get that out of there. And then I just come back and just do a simple blend. Now with lips, you can go. I mean, like I said, it's limitless. Like I said, guys, if you haven't joined my YouTube, it's in the link. It's in the comments. Brian put it in there. Yo, join my YouTube. Go check out my latest video, Rafiki. Leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. I'm going to do a video next on how to do head shapes and how to work on your head shapes so that you guys can follow my concept and try to get into my head a little bit. So I'm just working on the lips now, building everything up. Come back with an airbrush and kind of brush everything in and blend it. You guys see that blend coming in. And what I will do now, um, let's see. Yeah, his face is really bright, so there's not a lot of dark spots. There is one if you look. There's one going along right in here at his nose, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. We can work on that in a minute. But what I want to do now is I want to add a light source. So we make another layer, make it into a screen. I'm going to sample his lightest color on his face. And I'm going to, what I say, turn on the lights. And make that a little bit bigger. Right there. Come back. Right there. Right here. Right here. Uh, right here. Right here. Because remember that light was right in his face. right here, and probably down here. I'll come back and do the ears later. All right. So now that I got all of that in, I'm going to blend it in and make my eraser a little bit bigger. And I'm going to keep the opacity down. Let's see. About right in here. Oops, that was too much. And make sure I get the edges. Definitely get those edges. Just like that right there. And I may add another highlight just in case. Put some highlights on his lips. And I will just shade the bottom portion of that highlight. Oops. Come back with my airbrush. And do that. And add one more highlight on the top lip. Right here. Have that going down. Up, down. Just like that right there. Come back and do the eyes. Right here. Right there. Red. Right there. Come back. Do the teeth. Zoom out. Looking pretty good so far. What you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this right here. And a lot of people don't know I go the extra mile. I may add another highlight source. Multiply. We do a screen. Right here. Just setting up my pen. And I'm just putting another source on top of my original. Uh, right here. Right here. And right here. Okay. And I just blend those in. Real subtly right here. Yeah, slowly blend those in. And my edges. Just like that. That's it. Keep it moving. Come back with my airbrush tool and just put a little specular light. Put one in the nose right here. Going up right here. Put in the eye. Keep that back. Take that back. Boom. So that's what it's all about, guys. Just making adjustments. I wanted to just do the head shape for you. I know you guys are busy. Put a little shadow up on that bottom lip. Give a little depth up on the eyes right here. Add more up on the nose right here. Fill those out. Probably come back up under the neck. That way you guys can see it better. Up under the chin, right up under his lip. Right here. Fill in those ears some. Right here. Right here. Now, one thing I want to do is, if you guys see, I appreciate it, Familiar. Thank you, Shanta. Hey, love watching them. Oh man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Kaliko. Um, if it's one thing you guys see right here, I don't like the hard lines from the sketch. So I want to get rid of all those hard lines. So what I do is I always go back to my original artwork, make a duplicate, and I like to kind of take out those hard lines. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So you see me erasing those hard lines, and I'm going to replace that with some simple airbrush lines. And to me, that just it looks a lot better. Looks more natural. Make my line darker. Multiply, yeah. And let's see. There you go. So I'm gonna do that. There you go. And blend that in. About right here. There you go. Wait a minute, did a little bit too much here. Let me tone that down some and then tone down my brush. There you go. And to me, it just looks natural. I said that in my last video. I just prefer this look better because it looks more natural. And I'm going to go up. Even the lines on the lips, I want to remove that. See that dark line right there? We want to remove that. It looks more like a coloring book. So you want to remove that. And just by simply moving that, you see how natural it looks? And this is the cheek line right here. So you take your airbrush and just fill it in. There you go. And already look how natural that looks. So it's one, I've always been a fan of the airbrush and the guys who airbrush. My friend Mike, Russian, he's an airbrusher. Bryant Powell, those guys, man, I can't. I wish I can do what they do. And I'm getting rid of all these lines right here. And just come back with my brush tool and blending it all in. That's that dark line I was talking about earlier, if you guys caught that. And erase is just a simple erase and replace. Simple erase and replace. And that's what it's all about. Come back. There you go. Just looks way more natural, guys. Way more natural. Now I'm going to show you something too, for all of you beginners out there. Now you see I got my marching ants, so it didn't cover everything. I'm going to turn the marching ants off, and there were spots and areas on the face that I did not get. So I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to turn off the marching ants, and as you can see here, I missed some spots. See that along the edges? Along the edges right here, missed some spots. Uh, Not too many on this one, so I can. That's an easy fix. First thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna lighten up my. Let's go with a. That way, yeah, you can see it better now. So you guys see where I missed some spots at. Okay, that's a part of the game. It's an easy fix. If you are good in Photoshop, I don't know if Affinity can do it. I know Photoshop, Procreate, I know Sketchbook Pro can. So just watch me fix this. So we're going to start right here. First thing is first, like I said, I'm going to get rid of those hard lines. You don't want that. And I'm going to sample that skin tone. We'll make a new layer, put it at the top. And I'm going to make my brush size a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to fix it like that right there. like it was never there. Same thing. Get rid of my hard lines. I don't need them. And just do my fix it just like that right there. And the same thing over here along the neck. Get rid of those hard lines. And that way, by the time my crafters get it, they don't have to worry about that. So we're kind of doing the work for them. Just like that. Pan out. And let me see. Get rid of you. Get rid of that. Right there. It's the same thing, guys. Get rid of the hard lines. I don't need them. Like I said, sample that color. And then just come back with the fix. You should be good to go. Right there. And get a white. Do it right there. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna assume that Chris Rock has brown eyes. Sometimes I go into their bio and see what color are the eyes, but I'm not going to do it for this. But I'm going to just pick a brown, pick the airbrush tool, and I'm going to go along his eyes right here. And make it a little bit darker and hit the edges. Right there. And then I will probably come in, maybe Procreate and add some extra effects in here just to do it my way. Affinity Photo Can. Okay, cool. That I didn't know. I'm not too familiar with Affinity Photo, but I hear good things about it. So let's say Chris Rock is on a stage, and he's on a stage with a my favorite color is either red or blue. So we're gonna say red. So let's say Chris Rock is on a stage. It's red curtains, red lights. So you kind of want that light to kind of bounce off his skin. I would do that probably in Procreate with their luminosity tool, but Sketchbook Pro has a little glow pen too. And so what I do is just pick a red, and I will pick the glow tool, get a decent size on it, and you can add some red specular light to them, just like that right there. Let me Erase that. Come back again. Yeah. And I'll erase that right there. So that the light is kind of bouncing off his skin. And then I can always come back with the airbrush tool and probably put that on the bottom, screen it. And yeah, just do it like that right there. Just kind of make it subtle so that it's really bouncing off the skin. A little too much. Yeah, it's a little too much. Just like that right there. And in the end, just add a specular white light just to give it some intensity. Just like that right there. If I wanted to. Okay. So you could play around with your glows and all of that if I wanted to. You know. And you can always add a second light. Let's say purple. But yeah, we'll do purple. Uh, come back and get a purple. And just use your airbrush. Go along those edges like that. You know. So I'm just playing around with light now, guys. You don't have to do this. You know, that's just me playing around. So it's many things you can do, guys, and like I said, just have fun at it. Don't try to be perfect with it. We're gonna turn those off. But yo, so that's it, family. Um, like I said, it's play around with your shapes if you're gonna be doing caricatures. I tell people if you have a bad foundational sketch, then your caricature is gonna probably be bad too. And then when you try to color a bad caricature, it's just not going to look right. So it's best to get your foundation down tight first. Sometimes you may have to come back and draw the caricature 2 or 3 times. I don't always get it on the first try. So you may have to get it on the second or third try. But just make sure you get it. That's the main thing. And you have fun because you're actually learning. So if you're going to do it, make the learning fun and play around with it. Sometimes when I'm doing caricatures, I'm actually laughing while I'm doing it because it's funny. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what makes it fun. So play around with your sketches, play around with your shapes, and build up from that. And from that point, you'll be good. Again, yo, follow me on my YouTube channel. Check out my latest video. Go over there. Please leave a comment. It's in the comments. And follow us on Cartoon University. And also follow my fan page. So this is Stan Jackson. And guys, I am out. Take care. Peace.